Well, today we have a very special guest, somebody I'm sure you probably have caught on television, and you've seen him around. He's certainly no stranger to telling us about the concerns of a second term of the Obama administration. I am really delighted to have with us today Allyn Root. He's authored a book that's soon to be out called The Ultimate Obama Survival Guide. I just told Wayne it's only 4 years late, and but nonetheless, we still need it now for another 4 years. Wayne, nice to have you with us today.
Hey, Perry, great to be on. And you mentioned that I'm in the midst of writing it as we speak for the #1 conservative publisher in the world, Regnery. It'll be out April 15th, tax day, so nobody can forget that. But it's available right now for pre-order at Amazon. So the minute it's out, it's at your doorstep through Amazon. It's The Ultimate Obama Survival Guide by Allyn Root at Amazon.com.
All right, make sure you jot that. There's a picture of it on the screen for those watching on television right now, and go to Amazon.com coming April 1st and pick up an order or pick up a copy of it. Well, Wayne, today as we watched the president give his inaugural address, I'm sitting there cringing. I thought, oh boy, you know what's interesting? Somebody said he spent the first term getting spending where he wants it. He's going to spend the second term raising taxes to pay for it. Do you agree with that?
My entire book is about the idea that Obama, nothing happens by coincidence, nothing happens by mistake. Don't listen to a word he says, watch what he does. That's something I learned, common sense, from my blue-collar butcher father. He always taught me, don't watch what someone says, watch what they do, their actions. And Obama said he'd cut the deficit in half, and then he doubled it. And he said it was a disgrace that Bush caused $4 trillion in added debt in 8 years, and then he added $6 trillion in 4 years. So it's obvious he wants debt. It's obvious that's how you destroy a country from within. It's obvious that's how you force tax increases. To probably put it so people can understand it the best, he's the exact opposite of my hero, Ronald Reagan. Obama's the anti-Reagan. Reagan felt you cut taxes to starve the government, and Obama feels you blow up the size of government, you expand it beyond belief till it's unsustainable, and then you have to raise taxes to pay for it all. So yes, that's exactly what's happening in front of us, and it's a disaster. And I was his college classmate at Columbia University, class of '83, and we learned about Cloward and Piven, if you know those two names, Perry.
Right.
Cloward and Piven. And they're two professors from Columbia and later NYU. And what they said was you can never make America a socialist or Marxist country by screaming, I'm a Marxist, and saying, I'm going to take all your money away, and I'm going to take your businesses away. No one would allow that in America. So you have to find the perfect candidate who looks good, cuts his hair, cuts his afro, wears a beautiful suit, and you take that candidate, and what you do is you make sure he kisses babies and shakes hands, and then you put him out there on the campaign trail to say he's a uniter, not a divider, and I'm the nicest guy in the whole world, and it's ridiculous to call me a socialist. And then when everybody's happy and they're looking the other way, explode the debt and overwhelm the system with people on entitlements till the country goes under and everyone begs for government to save them, and you've got them. And that's what happened this past November. There were more takers than there were givers, and they voted him back in. Let me ask you this, Wayne. All right, the House is where all the funds come out of, the money comes out of, and we got the House under control of Republicans, but they're not acting like it. Yeah, you say we got the House under control. It would be under control if you had Tea Party conservatives running the House. Yeah. You have John Boehner. We've had all these years. You know what I used to say? In '08, I ran for the vice president on the Libertarian ticket, presidential ticket, and I used to say, on one side, we have socialists and Marxists, and on the other side, we have Democrats, and John McCain is the Democrat. And now it's, the Democrat was Mitt Romney, the Democrat is John Boehner, and Obama is still the socialist and the Marxist. There is no conservative in this ballgame, Perry. There is a true conservative that believes in what I believe in: faith, family, God, prayer, our country, the American dream, American exceptionalism, capitalism, small business. Those are the things I believe in, and there's nobody representing us, people who believe in those things, in the United States Capitol. Nobody. All right. Now, it appears to me that this president, even though he's got 4 years, he's going to probably go into kamikaze mode the first 2 years, because he's now facing a midterm election, and a midterm election could really swing the other way, especially now with the gun issue back on the table. So he's going to go for it now up until the midterm election to get what he wants done, then go into legacy mode. Yes, jam it through. As Rahm Emanuel would say, never let a crisis go to waste. And that's what's happening. You know, Groucho Marx really said it best. He said politics is the art of seeing crisis everywhere and then coming up with diagnosis that's always wrong and then instituting the wrong solution every single time. And that's exactly what Obama does on a daily basis. 20 kids get killed at Sandy Hook. Now we got to get rid of guns for everyone, even though the reason they got killed is they were in a gun-free zone. You know, if a gun-free zone is so great, Perry, why don't we make every federal building in Washington a gun-free zone?
Right.
Why don't we make the White House a gun-free zone? Now, moving on to the next crisis, he declared there was a fiscal cliff crisis, and we had to get it under control. And how would you do that? Well, you have to cut the debt. But unfortunately, the bill we just passed in response to a fiscal cliff crisis added $4 trillion to the national debt. Would someone explain to me what the heck's going on? We've got the wrong diagnosis for every problem, and we're jamming through the wrong solution. So, yes, he's got a 2-year ticking time bomb. He's going to push everything through that he believes in, which is to the left of anything anyone has ever seen in America. So to the left of liberalism and progressivism to socialism. He's going to try and jam it through because in 2014, guess what's going to happen in 2014? There could be an even stronger Republican majority in the House and the Senate. So he's got no choice but to make sure that he does everything now.
All right. Now, let me ask you this as you unplug your phone. Thank you. Why isn't the House tying him up with all kinds of bills that would frame him? I mean, they just send a ton of bills up there and make him in the Senate, and they would frame the issues by the bills they could pass and trap him. They're not even doing that.
No, it's really the other way around. He's framing them. I mean, it seems like every day my head spins, you know? Did you ever see The Exorcist with the head spinning around backwards? Obama throws so many things at us that our heads are spinning and they can't keep up with it. They're trying to keep up with the fiscal cliff. Then they're trying to keep up with the debt ceiling. Then they're trying to keep up with the guns. Then Obama announces to the whole world his #1 priority is actually immigration. And he wants to jam through a bill, a giant bill that does it slowly with common sense, try and figure out a way, you know, to solve the immigration problem. No, let's jam a giant bill through that changes everything overnight without any permission or any sign-on for Republicans. Pretty soon, your head's spinning and you can't keep up with it. That's Obama's philosophy, and it's brilliant. And I'll tell you the other thing he's doing. He is a PR genius. I don't know why Republicans have no one who understands this, but everything in life for Obama is a campaign, even when he's not campaigning.
Right.
So when the election's over, he's still campaigning. He's going into the homes of middle-class families and saying, if you had to pay an extra $2,000 this year, exactly what would that do to your budget? And they cry and they say it's so terrible. What if Republicans, Perry, went into every small business in America and said, what would paying an extra $25,000 do to your budget? And would you have to lay off employees? Would you have to close the business? Would you retire because it isn't worth working anymore? And the answer for all those would be yes. But Republicans never did that PR campaign. Obama's is pure brilliant and Republicans pure stupidity.
All right, so we could see a turnover and take maybe possibly the Senate back, so he's going to go really in a fast mode over the next 2 years. What do you see down the road, Wayne? I mean, who's out there that could somehow begin to articulate the Republican cause and bring it back to where people will embrace it again?
Well, we could start with Allyn Root.
Yeah, there you go. Get out there, yeah.
That's why I wrote the book, The Ultimate Obama Survival Guide. I plan on using it as a platform to run in 2016 for the U.S. Senate here in my home state of Nevada as a Republican.
Good.
Republican conservative Tea Partier, and I'm hope to become the next U.S. Senator, hope to make a difference. Marco Rubio, I think, is fantastic.
Yeah.
Rand Paul of Kentucky, I think, is fantastic. Mike Lee of Utah, fantastic. Jeff Flake of Arizona, fantastic. There's a few people to build on, but unfortunately not enough.
Well, so your guide, give us a quick tip on your guide.
Well, I went out and I found, because I used to have all small business friends. I'm a small businessman. But then I ran for office and became the vice presidential nominee of the Libertarian Party and wound up meeting a lot of big-time donors. And so I became friends with some very wealthy people. I'm blessed and I'm lucky enough to have some really special friends now who are the elite cream of the crop of American business. And I went to 14 people and asked them if they would anonymously provide information, all of them worth $100 million or more, Perry, on what the average person could do to save themselves and protect their assets under Obama, and all 14 said yes. So I'm in the process now. I've got 3 weeks to finish the book. Yeah. I'm compiling what these 14 people are telling me, what you out there can do to save your life, save your family, and most importantly, save your business or save your financial situation from total disaster if there is a meltdown, if there is a total collapse of the American economic system, or if we just become like Europe. Years and years, or Japan, years and years of a lost economy with just constant drip, drip, downward decline. All of those are very possible. One of them is probably what's going to happen. I would say a total economic collapse, but some of my wealthier friends say, no, we'll avoid that because the Fed will just keep printing money. But what will happen is we're going to have a constant decline for the next 20 years where America is just not America anymore. Wow. And they gave me their answers, Perry, and they're enlightening, they're eye-opening. If you read this book, I think you will find that if you had $1,400 million friends, this is the advice you would get from them. And I think people will say, wow, this is really going to help.
All right. The book is entitled The Ultimate Obama Survival Guide by Allyn Root, and there's a picture of it on the screen. It'll be out coming April 1st. Well, actually April 15th, but you can go to Amazon, get your order in right away, and get a copy of it. Wayne, let's stay in touch, and I'm glad you're running. Stick your toe in there. I was former chairman of the Republican Party for the state of Oregon, and I know you're in for a tough ride, but you'll get through it. Go for it, man.
Thank you, Perry. And by the way, the release date of the